I never got, I was okay as a student. I never failed as a student. So I think in that sense I was a good student. And then I went to college, which was HR college. And I remember I attended college the college was for 5 years. And I remember attending one class in my life. And again, I never failed. And I think there was a quest for learning for me. And I remember that every year after college, I did some activity. And my father thought, I did a typing course, and my father thought I can become a good typist and we can write letters and I will do something in life. I did a computer course at that time. I did my CA entrance, and then I found, then I realized I passed that also. And I realized I can't become a CA, it's too specialized for me. I don't know, I wanted to be a generalist rather than be a specialist. Then I did a weaving course in Sasmira, which again, I don't know whether I passed or I didn't pass, but I did the course. And I graduated, and I think I graduated quite okay marks. I was best among all the friends I knew around me. Then I did, I used to look at advertising at that point of time, and I thought advertising is a good, marketing is a good field. So I did postgraduate in marketing, whichever college I got admission, and I got there and I did that. I completed that also. I became a marketing graduate in that sense. And I married the first girl I met. My parents made me meet. So life was good. But I think the quest for learning was always there. And I think the journey of life from where I started and where I am today, and it's been a very interesting journey. For me, education or learning is, a lot of people do education for making a career, getting a job. Some do for acquiring some skills. And for me, I think education, learning, I've done a lot of learning, I'll talk about it a little bit, was preparing for the journey of life. I think the journey of life is a very interesting journey. You come in this world to kill time. You have to spend 70, 80 years. Lifespans are expanding. You can live up to 100 years nowadays. But what to do for 100 years? So you have to develop skills to live a good life for 100 years or 90 years or 70 years. So what I have done is, I have developed a lot of skills. I have been reading a lot during my college days also. I was a good reader. And I developed interest in many, many subjects. From organization development, marketing, management, mythology, design. My daughter became a designer later on. Social science, my second daughter became a social, she specializes in social science. I learned about humanities, I learned about storytelling. So I acquired a much better later on how to tell stories. I made cinema also. I was very fond of music. So I've done a lot in terms of understanding life. And for me, I think everyone has to kill time because you're a part of this journey of life. And one needs to learn a lot too. So I've learned a lot today from so many scholars. I think a lot of people, very interesting, multidisciplinary, I think team of the scholars which has been passed. I think I should thank the jury first. I think the jury has done a fantastic and outstanding job in terms of selection of the best of talent, which I could see. So for me, I have only one thing to say to everyone, which I practice myself, that since we have some abilities, and my ability is to create something which millions can enjoy. And for me, personally, it's all about how can we spread happiness all around us. So I always see that anybody who works with me, anybody who's around me, whether it's a family, whether it's any business associate or a person who is working with me, everybody has to be happy. And that's the mission of life. And since everybody is around you is happy, you will always be happy. And life is wonderful. So then my thing, enjoy life and spread happiness all around, and life will be wonderful. Thank you.
It does not matter how much you know. What matters is what you do with what you know. We would like to add here that all the awardees are requested to assemble on the dais after the national anthem for a group photograph of the press release. It is said that appreciation is a magical thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well. And mvpm, being what it is, wouldn't miss the opportunity to express gratitude. Calling upon Dr. Vasanji Bang, Secretary and backbone of mvpm Scholar Committee, on the podium for presenting the vote of thanks. To begin with, before Dr. Vasanji Bang, we would like to call Shri Vishnudas Ji Darak, to bless the occasion in a brief time.
Dignitaries on the dais, of the dais. I am standing before you for a couple of minutes for two purposes. Purpose one, to express our gratitude to Maheshwari Vidya Pracharak Mandal for organizing this prestigious program, which is very much sought after by everyone in the city of Bombay. I think it was Maheshwari ji who said that organizing such a nice program is not something which can easily be done. Maheshwari ji, I endorse your views, and from the bottom of my heart, I would like to just say from my own experience that any successful program have three steps: conceiving the idea, planning it, and then executing it. The idea was conceived by mvpm 4 years back. This is the 5th year that some such kind of search for scholars should be done. And now last one point for 1.5 minutes only. I know the time allotted and given to me is very short. My all young talented achievers who have received the award today are either in their 20s or 30s. I know their achievement is academic achievement is going to keep them best so far as their profession and their doing is concerned. Good thing in profession is you are a good professional. From my own experience, I tell you that, and forgive me for saying this, all good professionals may not necessarily be good human beings. And to be able to become very good human being, I would like to say, being a chartered accountant, there are moral values, there are eternal values, there are ethical standards: integrity, honesty, sincerity, tolerance, respect for the seniors, and all your hard work. Please keep it in mind, and I wish you all the best on behalf of all those who are present in this hall. Thank you very much.
Committee, Shri Vasanji Bang.
Being described as right hand and left hand puts added pressure on me. Particularly when you have to speak last, and if you are standing between the closer of the program and the dinner. Honorable dignitaries on the dais and members of this august gathering, to be speaking after receiving blessings from an elder, a veteran from our society, from our community, Shri Darakji. Thank you so much, sir, for blessing us. Shri Biyani ji spoke about mythology, and there is one legend about our community. You may or may not agree with that legend. The legend goes like this, that Maheshwaris were originally Kshatriyas, the warrior community. And it was Bhagwan Mahesh who told us to leave that and become Vaishyas, that is the business community. Now whether, as I said, whether you believe in this legend or you don't believe in that legend, it's up to each one of us. But then, the larger point that I'm trying to make here is Maheshwaris have always been seen as people who are highly adaptable, people who like to learn new skills and acquire new knowledge. This program, Maheshwari Scholar Award, is a celebration of this unique trait of Maheshwaris, I must say. On the other hand, this Maheshwari Scholar Award reminds us that we need to keep on raising the bar every time. we need to prepare ourselves for the future. And when we talk of future, we need role models who are before us in not just visualizing the future, but in creating future. And we had one such role model on the dais, Shri Kishorji Biyani, very rightly being described as the father of organized retailing in India. Sir, I read your book, It Happened in India, and in the foreword, your daughter describes that she had an argument that why to write this book so early. I suppose that was in 2006 or 7. And then later she goes on to say that now I agree that the book needs to be written because the society needs role models. Our generation needs role models with which it can relate. And I'm sure everybody in the audience would agree with what your daughter had said, sir. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time and gracing this occasion, sir. Although sir has been very humble in saying that he has tried to put down his academic background, but I must say what his takeaway for is, he said that I have always tried to keep learning, and education is all about that. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk of entrepreneurship, generally what happens is we think of entrepreneurship in the sense of creating new organization. Absolutely true. But then what about the existing organizations? They also need to be reinvented, and I suppose everybody on the dais will agree with me. And that's where the role of intrapreneurs becomes very important. And we had one scholar entrepreneur amidst us, Sri Manishji Maheshwari. Sri Manishji Maheshwari, who said that I don't know whether I would have got admission into SRCC now, and I've checked the cutoff of SRCC last year, it was 97.25, so you could have still made it, sir. SRCC, after completing his undergrad from the top in the country, he goes on to do MBA from the top in the world, Water Business School. We are really delighted, we are obliged, sir, for having shared your life story. And I must say that the life story of Maheshwari ji and life story of Biyani ji will serve as a source of inspiration to us, that what the late management guru C.K. Prahlad used to say. He used to say that what matters is not resources, what matters is resourcefulness. He always used to say that the starting position of the companies really do not matter. What matters is what do they do during the journey, because that will determine the destination, right? And so both these legends who are on the dais, they serve as a source of inspiration to us. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Ladha sir has been chairman of our jury for last 3 years and has always very politely in a way complained to us that you make our job very difficult. Because normally we talk about apple to apple comparisons, and here what we have is apples being compared to oranges, guavas, bananas and strawberries and whatnot. Right? We have got PhDs, we have got DMs, we have got MCH, we have got MS, which was not there till last year, MS Humanities and all that, and we still want them to choose the best. It's a tough task. Having spent almost 20 years in academics, I know it's a very, very difficult task, but then as you have seen the profile of our jury, they are up to it. They do it with aplomb, with complete integrity. Most of the mvpm family members are aware that the jury members, they spend from morning 10 to 7 interviewing the candidates. But that is only half part of the story. The other half I will tell you today. We send them the information about each scholar, of course withholding the names, not the surnames and the place, only the names 1 week in advance. And they go through that entire information, and they even telephone us and ask us, they would be very keen on understanding what is the ranking, the rating of the institution, the university from which the applicant has done his undergrad or postgrad or PhD. They would like to understand what is the rating of the course within that university. They would also like to understand what is, if somebody says that I am into top 5%, then top 5% of what? What is the base? Otherwise, is it top 5% of 10 or top 5% of 100? That also makes the difference. So this is the kind of preparation which our jury does. We are extremely thankful to Dr. Ladha ji, Dr. Chitlangia ji, Dr. Somani ji, Pramod ji Kasat, Vinod ji Bhai, our own. All of us, all of you are our own, and Dr. Naveen ji Kabra as well. In fact, Pramod ji, Chitlangia ji and Vinod ji traveled all the way from Mumbai to conduct the interviews that day. And I suppose Pramod ji had a flight to catch that day in the evening. And still he came to Pune. And today we have two people coming from Pune to Bombay to attend this function. We are obliged, sir. Thank you so much. MVPM depends on philanthropy of the community. So does this program of MVPM Scholar. We started organizing this program in 2012 and we used to seek a sponsorship of rupees 50,000, which was later raised to 75,000, and this year it was raised to 1 lakh. And what is interesting is still our jury list, still our sponsor list remains same, unchanged. Always the first name is of Rajendraji Tapadia, and then he will telephone and in half an hour we'll get the list of all the sponsors. And that's why we could organize this kind of program. What is interesting is this year we wanted 7 sponsors and we got 1 more. So because there are 7 pairs and we wanted 7 sponsors, but this year we got 8. Thank you so much for being